I read something that Soupy said, and it was something along the lines of that everybody who can relate to the music, it's always people who didn't quite fit in, and this kind of music kind of banded them together. Is this, especially now if you see the tour, the people here, is this something you felt when you started the band as well, that it was something?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, you know, the idea of fitting in, I mean, at least to my knowledge and understanding of, you know, a lot of the roots of punk rock and punk music, as it were, is just that, you know, kind of an idea of people that wanted to be themselves and, you know, that didn't feel right fitting in with certain other groups, and it became a community in itself. And you know, the musical style kind of, I think, followed that idea, or it's hard to say which came first. But you know, certainly. So in that same way, there are people out there every day of their life, and especially growing up, that tends to be the hardest time when you're finding yourself and understanding and solidifying what you believe in and how you feel about the things around you. It can be tough because you might not have found those people yet that share that that viewpoint. So you know, in that way, you know, it can feel, you know, socially awkward at times when you're a kid and you don't know a lot of those things about yourself yet, and you know, find it hard to fit in whatever realm, whether it's at school or, you know, in your community. So sure, I think that's certainly a part of it, and that's you know, why it relates. A lot of people out here right now probably have shared that and would tell you that they shared that same feeling and that same mindset when they were growing up, and that's why we're kind of all here, because in searching for a place that we felt like we fit in, it led us here to this music, to that record that I took home, bought, and loved, and wanted to find more of, wanted to find people that also like that, you know. So that's how it goes. So certainly, absolutely.
When well, going back then to the trilogy, as you said, it's about growing up, developing as a human being. Do you find that you yourself and as a band have found your direction, so to say?
Well, especially on this latest record, on The Greatest Generation, I think we're all extremely proud of how it came out, and it shows the influence of all six of us. And I think this record, more than anything we've done in the past, has been the most solid weaving together of those influences and personal ideas and opinions, and even separate influences, both musically and lyrically. You know, it's all come together, and I feel really proud of that. And I certainly think we've grown and are extremely proud of the record and what, you know, our band has become in that sense.
Well, you mentioned that the songs are often inspired from things that happen back home, or do you set out a specific time to write songs, or does it continually go on?
You know, some of us will try to write on the road a little bit, but it really doesn't start when we set out to write an album. It really doesn't start to kick into high gear until we're all together in one room. We'll have ideas that everybody has kind of pulled together and worked on a little bit, but I think the real majority of that song construction comes when all six of us are together and can sit down and play through random ideas. Say, okay, well, I kind of like this, we kind of like that, and find the best balance between our collective minds and musical styles. So that's where a lot of the majority of writing happens, is all together in a room, whether it's fighting over one 16 measure ball, section of a song, or one little chord that, until it's right and we all agree on it. So
Yeah, is it difficult to find this balance, especially because...
absolutely, it's not always the easiest thing. Having that almost democratic mentality in a sense, because it's hard to please everybody. It's, you see that, the world shows you that, and we've known each other for a while. We've obviously been a band together for a while, and we were all friends even before the band. So there's a lot of history there as well, and it's tough. But out of those discussions that can turn into arguments, it's all worth it in the end, because that, I think, in our minds makes the music that we create what it is. I don't think it would be the same way without that kind of back and forth seesaw of ideas and opinions, and trying to balance it. So.
Can you give me an example of a song that for the last album that you started on in the studio and maybe it changed completely by the time it was done?
Well, let's see. Actually, yeah, the song called "Devil In My Bloodstream," which is a slower kind of song, had the bare bones of it. Soupy had, kind of a lyrical idea that he had been writing for the song, but we couldn't quite decide on, initially we thought about making it kind of an acoustic song, and keeping it simple and just letting the song, the lyrics, and the melody breathe just as an acoustic song. And then we kind of started rethinking about it and had discussions and trial and error phases of a slew of different instrumentation, everything from a full band, full song, track on the record to just an acoustic. And eventually, in the studio, when we went to record it, it became this nice slow build of instrumentation, starting with just piano and ending with a full mix of guitars, drums, and just power and emotion that that kind of climaxed at the end in a way that we initially didn't see the song doing and being able to do. So I think that's a perfect example that something can start out as simple as that, ends in a much grander orchestration. So.
I've also read that the band has a strong do-it-yourself mentality.
I'm sorry?
That the band has a strong do-it-yourself mentality.
Yeah, I mean that's how we started. We started out booking our own tours, and managing ourselves, and trying to get our feet in the door wherever we could, hop onto shows, and that's we didn't wait around and hope something came up. We just kind of always tried to keep moving and do whatever we could as a band to keep moving, and keep growing and keep building. So yeah, sure. I think in this day and age, with the internet and there being so many bands out there, you almost have to, you have to go for it and try and do as much as you can yourselves. Instead of waiting around and hoping that somebody else comes in to do stuff for it.
Is this an attitude that the band had right from the get-go?
Yeah, and I mean, the band started off as just kind of not as a serious project, but as it grew and as we all realized that we were starting to create music that we felt really strongly about and that we wanted to keep doing what we were doing and build it. Absolutely, we just hop in the van, didn't wait for a tour bus to ride up. We just, got going, and whatever it was, if it was a show, we would play it, and whether if we played to nobody or 100 people, it would, we'd still be there, show up, and do it, and do everything ourselves, and I think that's what made us who we are as people and the band that we are today.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Sure, absolutely.